And so it was in the paper. Jessica, I think, has done a marvelous job in gathering the data. There's one on page 5 of 12 that John Doherty is listed twice at 8 units twice. I think there was some confusion because there was an annex and then another regular, so it got put on here for 16 units. There's really only 8, and it should be 195 at the bottom rather than 203. Just thought I'd bring that out. Now, you can't develop a plan based on illegal rooms. I mean, there probably are a lot of illegal rooms. Who's going to go through all this process to get here and try to make these rooms? I mean, it's near impossible. So you can't do a plan on that, but Jessica has gotten the data, I think, pretty well together using MCCSD, which keeps track of everything. There's a few maybe little errors or something, but those things could be worked out. I have a question. What constitutes a business? Was that determined? What is 25 units? Is it a business license? Is it the name of whatever? Or how do you determine what a business is over 25 units? Was that ever determined? It was a question. It was a question in the plan.
Yeah, I do.
Well, a business entity can be defined in different ways: a corporation, a partnership, sole proprietorship, that sort of thing. So it just depends on how the business is formed. And
Okay,
you could
but
have one individual owning 4 or 5 different separate businesses. You could have that.
I could have that if I had a different business license for each one.
Correct.
Okay. Good. That answers that question. And, some of the businesses in town are doing marvelous, and some of them aren't doing so well. It may be how you're operating the business with, the prices and with how the rooms are. So it just depends. It depends on the operator. And I think the plan is a good start. Got some accurate numbers, and I think you can go from there. I think that's all I had to cover. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Barbara. Jed Ayers.
My name is Jed Ayers, and lifelong resident and owner of the McCallum House in Mendocino. Thanks again for the opportunity to get up in front of you, and thank you, Jessica and Allison, for all the hard work you put into the report. I think I saw the same glazed looks on your face when I was here 3 years ago presenting the data that I gave you in the binder, which was pretty similar to the research that she came up with. So, anyway, I'd like to remind you and the audience that the current certified data was collected in 1989. I think that's been made painfully clear to everybody, and it was done by hand. I don't know if you all saw the actual chart that Eleanor Severco actually put together, but it really was truly a door-to-door survey. And these are the numbers that we've come to live with for the last 20 years. So, despite the attempts to update the town plan in 1999 by the CAC, we're still standing here 16 years later, really held hostage to a dysfunctional and out-of-date document, which contains 19-year-old data, which I think we can all agree is not right, and it's really holding the whole town sort of frozen to this process being clarified and these numbers being updated. So, and I'd like to just bring up one other example, which I think most of you on the board are pretty painfully aware of. There was one applicant, the Reeds, who during the 16-year ice age had tried to go through the general plan amendment, which is documented in the plan, whereby you can adjust the tables. And they achieved clearance from the Water Board, the Planning Commission, the Board of Supervisors, and ultimately the Coastal Commission, only to have the approved amendment overturned by the California Superior Court in a lawsuit filed by my friend Lee Edmondson on the grounds that the 1992 plan had not lived up to the guidelines of being updated every 5 years. So clearly, I think this ruling provides somewhat of a legal precedent that this the county has an obligation to update this town plan, and we need to get this done. So with the benefit of all that history, I think the county needs to make a simple and clear motion today or in the near future to clarify the language and update the data. And to this end, I would like to make the following 5 points relative to the review. I think the suggestion that staff made to remove the visitor serving tables from the town plan is an excellent recommendation. It'll provide the county with more oversight and the ability to regularly update those tables. The idea of planning personnel and the tax collector working together will ensure accurate results. I think we're all aware of what's going on with the Heritage House and some of the other ends that haven't paid their bed tax, and having a planning person and a bed tax person show up at the same time will ensure you get accurate data. You might also consider having the tax returns actually go by the actual units that are being rented. Thereby, you would have a granular table of the rooms that were rented and the nights, instead of just a one lump check coming to you. So I think that you might want to look at that. I also want to dispel any rumors relative to the McCallum House not paying their bed tax. There was some mention of this in local newspapers this last week, and I just want to make sure you all know that we've been audited twice in the last couple of years, and we are paying our bed tax. I went back and looked at the